Hello everyone, this is Michelle at michellesizemore.com with one L in my first name. For that website link, I'm a Creative Memories advisor, and today you'll learn how to make this quick and easy 2-page layout using the Relax into Summer collection by Creative Memories. It's our 2025 summer collection and I really love it. I love all the bright and fun, cheerful colors. And I also used the Scalloped Crochet border punch and the 12-inch trimmer and the photo trimmer, as well as I always use a repositionable tape runner. And that's pretty much it. And I probably used some scissors to get rid of some things where I had to clean things up when I punched this. I always use some scissors. All right, let's get started. It's really easy to make this layout. Here's everything that I used. I've got it in a power sleeve, and it's just sort of a temporary holding place for my stuff that's for one project. And I used these stickers from the Relax into Summer collection, and these papers, and 2 sheets of this paper. I also used ruled paper. I used this variety mat from the collection, and these are my pretend photos. Okay, and let me explain this. These white sheets right here, these are going to be the backdrop for my pages. And these are the inserts that come out of the top loading pages. So the top loading pages come with these white inserts, and basically it's like 12 by 12 cardstock. It's a little bit thicker than our cardstock. And oftentimes I'll pull those pages, these out, and I'll just put in paper, like where I'll back to back 2 pieces of paper, or I might put a digital page print in there. And then so I save these, and this is an example of what I would use these for. Now I wanted to save paper because this red paper is it's a really pretty shade of red, and I didn't have a cardstock this color. So I really wanted to save this paper and use it a lot. Since I didn't have a backup piece of cardstock to coordinate with this, I just didn't have the right color with me when I was working on this out of town. So I wanted to just put strips of paper here instead of mounting this yellow on top of a whole page of red. And I had lots of these, so I'm not worried about conserving these, but I was worried about conserving my red paper. So the first thing that I would do is cut, and I'm just going to show you one page of this to create, but I would cut 2 sheets of this red paper 2 inches wide. Each one's 2 inches wide. So for the whole layout, since it's a double page layout, I would actually cut 4. But I'm just going to show you today with 2. I'm going to grab my 12-inch trimmer, take off my Post-it note, and line this up at the 2-inch mark. Make sure it follows the grid line all the way down, and cut. Just make sure your straight blade is in there, and I'm going to do one more just like this. Line it up at the 2-inch mark right here, follow that grid line all the way down, and cut. So I would mount these on the top and the bottom here, because I only need that much red to show through and past this scallop crochet. So I'll grab my repositionable tape runner and a silicone mat. I always use a mat when I'm using this tape runner. So I'm going to open that up and just put a few dabs along there, and I'm going to mount this on the bottom just so none of the white shows past it, and this one on the top. You really don't need to use a whole lot of this, because if you do, it's just wasting it and you won't get as much use out of a tape runner. Okay, so there's that. And the next thing I would do is I would take this yellow paper and punch a scallop crochet border on the top and the bottom. Now, I've already done the top to save time. I'll just do the bottom to show you how I did it. This line right here is a little black line is where you want to start. You want to line your paper up with that black line, very important. And before I do, I'm going to punch this a few times and bang it just to make sure I don't have any stray pieces of paper in here. So let's do this real quick. Line it up with that black line. Make sure it's straight against this little raised area right here. Hold it down firmly with your thumb. Punch with your right hand if you're right-handed. If you're not, you would do it the opposite way. Now you want to take this and clean that out. Every couple of punches I like to clean it out. Otherwise, sometimes the paper gets jammed up in there. Now you want to take this and cover all of the blue with what you just cut out. So you line it up so that no blue shows, only silver. Make sure it's straight here. I'm holding it down here to make sure it doesn't move, and punch. Clean out my scraps. Now I would just continue that. I'll do one more to show you. Well, I'll go ahead and do the whole thing. Actually, I need to. Make sure you don't see any blue. Make sure it's straight here. Make sure you're holding it down and punch. And do it again. Cover your blue so no blue shows, and punch. Kind of clean it out. I'm really cleaning it out more than usual. I usually do it after every couple of punches. Make sure you cover your pattern and you don't see any blue here. Hold it straight against this little, well, just hold it straight and punch. And now I've done the whole thing. Now right here, I'm going to need to clean that up just a little bit with my scissors. Okay, now I've got that. So now what I need to do is take this and I will mount this on top of here so that about the same amount of red shows at the top and the bottom. And this is where it's really important to use. I think a silicone mat is the best thing. We used to have these with Creative Memories, but we don't have them right now. But you can buy a silicone mat at a craft store. Hopefully we'll be bringing these back soon. So I'm going to put this repositionable tape runner on the back. Why do I use the repositionable tape runner? Is because it comes out in little clear dots. And it only sticks to the part of the paper that you want it to stick to. It doesn't show through all these little holes and intricate pieces. The excess would go off on your silicone mat. Now you could do this. Before I learned about the silicone mat, I would just do it on a piece of cardboard. You just don't want to do it on a table where you're going to ruin your table is all. So I'm going to generously kind of put little dabs all across there and on the bottom and here several. That's good enough for me. And I'm going to position this evenly. I'm just going to look at it and eyeball it. Make sure no red or white is sticking out past your paper. And now, I do see that I forgot to get rid of some of these little scrappy pieces. I'm going to get my multi-purpose tool. And the good thing about using the repositionable tape runner, one of the many good things is that you can pull it up after you've placed it while you're crafting. Because I would need to pull it up to get rid of that. I should have done that before, but I didn't. So this is just what I would do. I see another one up here that I need to get rid of. Okay. And then I'm going to just rub this all over. Now, I do see where it looks a little bit uneven right here. So I'm just going to take my my trimmer, and cut it off just a tad. I'm going to the blade is going to come down on this left-hand side dotted line here. So I'm going to line it up probably with this right-hand side dotted line because I just need to cut a sliver off of this so that that excess won't show. Maybe not even that much. Okay, yeah, I think I am gonna have to go over to there. I just misplaced it just a little bit, and I want it to look even. So I'm going to cut just that sliver off, and then it should look good. And it looks good on this side, so I'm happy with that. So that's how I do the base of the page, and the rest is just pretty simple. I'm going to show you how to do this right here. Well, the next thing I would do would be to put my stickers here. And I have to find those. Okay, here we go. This is all the contents from the thing that I had. So I'm going to put this wavy blue sticker on the bottom here. Just kind of line it up with that scallops. And then I'll cut that little excess off. And then I'm going to put the sunglasses at the top. These are so cute. I love this bright and cheerful collection. It's so fun. I do see a little red sticking out there, so I'm going to cut that off. Okay, so I'll just take my scissors and cut off this little extra right here. These are my micro scissors. And see how that red sticks out just a little bit? I'm going to kind of go underneath that yellow and cut that so that doesn't show. So I'm really happy with that. So that's how to do the stickers. And the next thing you do is cut this. This is a a variety mat. It's from the variety mat pack that comes with this collection. And I need to cut it to fit. So I basically just figured it out as I was making this, what would fit. And what size I need to cut it is I need to cut 1/4 of an inch off of each vertical side. So I'm going to do that because I want to center this. So line that up. Is that right? Let me think. 1/4 of an inch would be there. It's more like, okay, basically I'm going to just line it up with the outside. It's not 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to line it up with the outside of this gray mat right there. That's what I need to do. I wrote that down wrong. And then do the same thing over here. So I'm going to line the outside edge with the outside of that gray mat. And then I've got that. That looks good. And then I'm going to cut 2 inches off the top and 2 inches off the bottom. So I'm going to line this up with the 2-inch mark. And I could save that and use it for something else, maybe with some sticker letters. And 2 inches off the bottom. So that's how I got the size that I need here. And then I'm going to cut some of this green and mat it. I'm just going to do this. Since this is so small, I'm just going to do this by hand. I'm going to eyeball it. You could measure it and do it with your trimmer, or you could just eyeball it because this is so small it's easy to eyeball, I think. I kind of want that to be a skinny mat. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and kind of look at it. It's easy to cut it when it's that small. A little bit more. Yeah, and I think I want to do this a little bit skinnier. Yeah, that's good. I'm good with that. So there's that. And then I added a couple of stickers to this from these sheets. I added this little blue flower and the fruity drink, which I don't see that on here. Yeah, there it is, right here. Add that at the bottom, and that's how I got that. And then I would just place my photos here we go. This is the new page. It's a 4x6 here, a 4x6 here, and then this one is 4x5. So I just need to cut an inch off the bottom. I'm gonna line that up with the 5 because this is a 4x6. Line it up at the 5 right there. Make sure it's straight at the top and cut. And then I would put that here. And that's how easy that would be. And I would just mount all of that with my repositionable tape runner. A dab at every corner for sure, and then maybe a dab here and there. And I've already shown you how to use that, so you know how to do that. And then the only other thing you need to do is on the adjacent page, these are all 4x6 photos, so you don't even have to cut those, but you do have to cut this, and I've written down the measurements. It needs to be 4 1/4 inches wide. So I'm going to measure that on here, and that's 4 1/4, and I drew a pencil line so that matches up. Remember, your blade is coming down on that left-hand side dotted line on your mat, and then it needs to be wrong picture here. 1 3/4 inches tall. So I'm going to turn it and measure it at 1 3/4 inches right here. And that does match up with my pencil line, just double checking. That's how I would do that. And then I would mount that right here and just journal on that with our black pen. I would use the fine tip side. You could, if you had like a royal blue pen, because we have different pen colors at different times, you could use that. I think that would look good. And then you just mount everything with your repositionable tape runner. So I'll give you one more look at the final layout. And it's really easy to do. I love that scallop crochet punch. And I think I've said it enough. I love this collection. It's a very fun collection. So, and then I would take these and put them in a top loading page. Let me show you. Here's an album that I've done with top loading pages in it. These are actually, I'm sorry, these are multi-pocket pages. I tell you what, I don't have an album handy with top loading pages in it, so I'm going to grab some top loading pages. I store my extra pages in these inserts that fit in our storage and display totes, and I put these on my square cube shelves. A lot of people buy them at IKEA. I got mine at Wayfair. You can get them at different places, Walmart, Target, but I just store these in my shelves, and then you can put a little card in here with what's in them. This is just repositionable tape. I'm going to later do a card in there. But anyway, so I've got some top loading pages here. So I'm going to pull these out. I've already pulled the whites out. And I would just insert, let's see. It's going to go this way. So the left-hand side is going to go here. And the right-hand side is going to go here. And then these would fit in your album. The staples are here just like your regular pages do. You can mix and match your pages. You can mix multi-pocket pages with top loading pages with regular pages. I like to work on things outside the book and place them in these top loading pages kind of more than I'd like to work on the actual pages, but it's just a preference. I use all of them. All right, thanks for watching, and you have a wonderful day. Bye.